Like a scene out of a Hollywood movie, heavily armed police officers stand guard over a large amount of cash. Crisp new $100 bills, neatly packed and on display for all to see.
The money was in multiple bundles and wrapped in plastic. It's one of the largest RCMP seizures of currency in Canada.
RCMP are showing off the $2.6 million in American bills after a large and significant bust in the waters off Vancouver Island back in March.
The vessel was first detected operating suspiciously by members of the RCMP's Border Integrity Operations Center on March 24th of 2011, just prior to midnight.
RCMP say as part of their border integrity program, they have officers on the water knowing that certain routes are used for cross-border criminal activity. So when a 5-meter Zodiac was picked up on the radar speeding towards the U.S. border, officers on the water took notice.
As the RCMP closed the distance on the suspicious vessel, the suitcase was thrown overboard by the lone occupant.
And in that suitcase was all of this cash, more than $2.5 million U.S., tossed into the waters of Swanson Channel, southwest of Pender Island. And RCMP say the man in the boat was about 6 minutes from U.S. waters.
In a boat operating under cover of darkness, it was operating without lights, traveling in the direction of the border, carrying a significant amount of cash in a suitcase that's thrown overboard in the vessel. I think there's a lot that can be understood from those actions.
Mounties say the cash bust may not be the largest in Canadian history, but it is up there, with only a $3 million bust out of New Brunswick a few years ago topping the list. So what was a man doing in a Zodiac with a suitcase full of money in the middle of the night? Well, RCMP are not giving up a lot of details at this point, but say moving that much money is likely connected to organized crime.
I would suggest that it's a safe assumption, if you will, that $2.6 million is going to be noticeable, and it's going to be a significant disruption in their operations.
What the operation is and who's behind it, RCMP aren't saying, only that the investigation continues. But they are saying that money is moving across the border frequently.
We know that organized crime is no longer confined to Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. It's international, and accordingly they have to be able to move their product international. Part of the product is money.
RCMP say a 44-year-old man from Lake Cowichan has been charged with possession of property obtained by crime and laundering proceeds of crime, but he's not in custody. He's expected to be in court to face those charges on November 21st. In Victoria, I'm Nikki Iwanishin for The Daily.